Welcome into another edition of the Gator Nation Football Podcast film review. I'm James DiVirgilio, and on today's episode, we'll take a look at Florida's offense versus Mississippi State. This will be the very last offensive film breakdown of the Billy Napier era. I have watched every single play of every single season of Billy Napier at Florida, and this will be the last film review documenting his time here as Florida's football coach, and he does get the win, despite the fact that this was, especially in the second half, in so many ways, a vintage Billy Napier performance. The last drive, the last few play calls, the tendencies, they all came right to fruition as they seemingly always did. Billy Napier told us in large part who he was as an offensive coordinator through almost 4 years of play calls that we've seen on this channel now continuously, and he finished off his tenure as the same guy that he was. So he is consistent, if nothing else, and he is now no longer Florida's coach, and so this will mark the end of that era. I'm going to break down for you some of the most impactful plays in this game. If you want to see the entire film review, that is available on Patreon, where $15 a month does get you full access to both the offensive and defensive film reviews all season long in their entirety. The link is in the description, where you can click that and become a member of the GNFP. All right, without further ado, let's hop into this film and take a look at a few of the most impactful plays from this one. First down and 10. Now, this is a really nice three-play sequence for the Gators. We've seen Mizell, now Ball. And Ball is going to make this happen. There he is right there. And I mean, gone, right? I mean, check that out. Just easy money for 13. Just so sudden. I mean, that's the thing about Ball. He is so sudden. Like, if you look at where the defense is, he's trying to make sure he walls off the outside because Florida is trying to go to the outside here. This is their intended lane, right? He's going to try to strike this block. Now, look, the perfect world for Mississippi State is to strike this block as hard as you can. He kind of runs himself just out of the play. And that's why you strike these blocks on power runs. That's why you don't want to pull yourself out of the play. It's too far out to the edge here. Get a strike here. Great lock up here. And now we've got Ball shooting through the gap. And now this is the key. Here's Ball, and here's the guy that can stop him, right? And Ball has to evade that defender. He slows up a second. That's a mistake. You cannot afford to slow up at all against Jaden. And that's it. That's all she wrote. I mean, he does not even touch him, right? He's head first sliding into home right here. He's trying to win the ALCS. Bam. Get in there. Maybe he's safe, but Jaden's in the end zone for 6. Very next play. Now, I like this call from Florida, right? Florida, I think, does not run seams often enough. Going to run it here. You're going to get a cover 3 look from Mississippi State. The only problem is they're going to be on what Florida wants to do here, and DJ is going to be late with this ball. There is still a window to throw this ball, but let's watch what goes on between the communication here between the two safeties, and I'm going to rewind this a little bit so you can see it. But there's a discussion between the two of them here. A little slower than I want it to be, but you're about to get there. And here we go. All right, so you can see a little communication here. He's going to reach out and say, okay, what's going on here? And he's going to say, hey, come behind me. Right, I'm not responsible for the 2 here. Go ahead and take that behind me. Cool, he's going to open up, look in the backfield, keep his feet this way, ready to bail this way. Right, primarily where he's going to go. This is a tendency play because he is still in cover 3. He's not responsible for just this side, right? This is cover 3. Florida's running a seam here as well. This is a good pickup, a good feel, a good tendency that Florida's primary read might be over here. But regardless, Lagway controls this, right? Lagway controls this. Now, I can't tell you why the Gators do stuff like this. I don't know what is being taught, but I can tell you I don't like it. If you go back and you watch the Trask film, or you watch the NFL, and your favorite quarterback is a quality quarterback, or you watch anyone who's mastered their craft, this does not make any sense to me. You got to hitch here first. I don't want to read that first. I don't want to read that first at all, right? It's not what I want to read first. If I'm running the offense, I want to read high to low in this situation with this play. On top of that, I want to have my eyes right at the safety here because he's the guy that can make this play. If I think they're in cover 3, he's not going to carry that, right? He's not going to match. He's not going to carry that in this situation. And so I want to be able to look at this. I want to read this, and then I want to come down to this later. Because if he's in cover 3, he's going to have to bail. If I keep my eyes here, and I even look off this, he's going to bail, and I stick it here, right? And we watched Trask do that wonderfully. But DJ is going to open up reading here. What's the problem with that? Safety keeps working over towards where his eyes are. Now DJ moves to the 2. So he's reading hitch, then he's reading seam. I don't like that. That's what he's doing. I can't tell you whether he's doing that on his own or someone's telling him to do it. Either way, it's happening. And now he has this throw. This throw right now, he has it. He needs to get the right foot in the ground and deliver it over here quickly on a rope because the safety is moving that way. The entire time the safety's watched DJ, his head has only been over here. He's never looked him off, never created a different spot. Now we get the right foot planted, and now we're going to drive and throw this ball. The only problem is, right, you've done it wrong. There's your safety flying over here. This is not open for a touchdown. And on top of that, you've so telegraphed that even your underneath cover 3 defender is closing, leaving your hitch actually open here, right? And so, there it is, right? Hansen also maybe work back to the ball some, have some awareness. You got a safety on you, help him out. Nope. Right there, pick. It's a nice play by 3. Nice read by Mississippi State. But look, seams versus cover 3, those are there. That's available. If the corner bails, you can take that hitch route, right? But ultimately, it's going to be really hard to run any kind of vertical concepts if you're not locating that middle safety and manipulating him with his eyes. Now, yes, DJ is just a sophomore, but the low to high reading on that kind of play bothers me. I don't like it. Again, I'm not privy to design there. I can't tell you what the exact read is or what he's being taught, but I can tell you how I watched that happen right there on film. I don't like it. Same play, different look. Just pay attention to that top part of your screen. Just like we talked about, there's your low read. There's your move to 2. All the while, your safety is only ever gaining traction over here. Look, again, if you run the seam route here, let's say you run 4 verts, right? A play we've talked about so often that Florida just never runs. It's like one of the best plays in all of football. It's still one of the best plays in all of football, and Florida never runs it. It's especially one of the best plays in all of football when you're playing teams that run a lot of static cover 3. They're not matching. They're not carrying. Not running this. It's simple, right? It's a simple concept, but ultimately I'm going to use it as an example. Let's say Florida's running that. He is not going to go. He is not going to carry. So you have 3 defenders versus 4. It's 4 offensive players versus 3 in the deep part of the field. But the way it still has to work is your quarterback would still have to manipulate the middle safety so he can throw one of these seams, right? By design, he's going to trail with a go route. He would cover that. He's going to trail with a go route. He would cover that. He's not, and he's not. So he's 2-on-1. But a good safety could effectively cover both seams if the quarterback just looks at one guy and he can run at him. And the same concept is going here. Florida does not have 4 verts, but they're still going to hold these cover 3 droppers, especially on this side. They're holding them low. He still has space for this. I'm going to get this up on the screen. You can see all this beautiful green grass here, and DJ just sees this. It's all he sees. He thinks he's got a middle-high safety, but this safety has got momentum moving towards the throw. And because he's not ready to quick game this throw right now, that's when he could make it. Quick game that throw in there right now. It's got to already be gone. Ball's already got to be gone. Anticipate and throw. He does not. It's a pick, right? He's a sophomore. Missed a whole offseason, making mistakes, but I just don't like, again, look at that. Don't like the readout on that. That's elementary stuff. It's not good. And a pick there for DJ. 3rd down and 1. This could be Billy's last stand here at the Swamp. I think at this point in time, he knew he was not coming back on Sunday. This would be his last game he's coaching in the Swamp. How does he want his last potential play call of impact to go? If Florida gets this, they call timeout, but then you run the ball on 1st down, run the ball on 2nd down, run the ball on 3rd down. The game is essentially over, and you've converted this 1st down, and you've ridden off into the sunset. So what play call is Billy going to go with, and will Mississippi State expect it? Here comes Amir Jackson, and you better believe they expect this. Really nice pass off. He was on Amir. We're going to pass that off to him. He's going to take Amir Jackson. They're going to play man, press coverage man right here. Coverage 0 on the back end. He's going to be your filler. Of course, we know that if Florida's not going to run the ball to the inside, they're going to wind up rolling to the right. Everyone knows it. You know it. I know it. And then there it is. Mississippi State knows it. He now comes in. He'll attack Lagway. We've shut down Amir. Outside leverage here. We're all over VB3. Hansen's not really in the read here. He would be eventually. But on this play, we're going to read It looks like really Florida's looking to read. It would be Amir right away, but at this point in time, DJ's already looking at VB3 because Amir's cooked. Then you got Trey. Now, Trey's going to be the one that winds up being open because the defender falls down. But at this look, it's not great, right? Not great. He's all over. And right here, he falls down. There he goes. He falls down. So perhaps if you had caught them by surprise and the defender's not already coming into DJ's space, you might see this. You might hit this for a touchdown and a game winner. DJ, though, let's look at how he's reading, right? Rolls out here. He's looking low. He's looking at VB3. He now looks to see the oncoming defender. He's not even really thinking about throwing. Maybe at this point in time, he could see Trey over here. I'm not sure he ever does. Looks like he's just tucking here to not turn this ball over. And then there you go. Locked up, locked up, locked up. They've definitely seen this play. Probably would have been locked up, but he falls down on the play. And that's that. So there it is. Let's watch this in real time one more time. Again, play of the game, on the line, home stadium. What do you cook up? A play that Mississippi State is just literally all over. Playing press man, daring you to do anything else, right? Look at this. Look at what you get if you're the Gators, right? This is what you have right here. You got cover zero here. You got two receivers lined up in press man coverage. Nobody to help them. There are so many things you could do to say, you know what, forget it. Let's just play fake this right here and live 2-on-2. Let's do it. Let's just do it. We don't need anything else. These guys are all going to be locked up in the box. Any kind of combination we want here, of which there are many, man-to-man to get 1 yard. But look, teams know that's just not going to happen. And Billy's not even going to try it, right? We're going right to the old bread and butter. Let's hope our tight end's open here. If not, maybe we get a little slant, a little hitch route right here. If that's not, then tuck it and eat it. Let's punt the ball and live to fight another day. Got to execute better, so to speak, right? Well, that's what happens here. Florida does not get this despite being in a 3rd-and-1 situation. We still never see the rollout left, and we're never going to see it in the Napier. It's never going to happen. Rolling out left is not going to happen. Not a thing. You can only roll out right. That's the rule. And that is a 4th down set up there for Mississippi State where they're going to get the ball back and ultimately throw their own interception to end this game and let Billy still ride off into the sunset. But this will be the last play of consequence that Billy Napier ever calls. The next one I'm going to show you, of course, will be the victory formation. But this is it. This is his last play call at Florida. And really, in many, many ways, it's a fitting ending. What seemed like an impossibility just mere seconds earlier is now reality. Billy Napier is going to leave the swamp in his last game with a win. Ride off into the sunset, if you will. We'll see what happens to Billy Napier in the future. But certainly as far as the GNFP and myself are concerned, I've had frustrations with the offense. But Billy Napier as a person has been nothing but someone who's been kind and respectful and great in the Gainesville, Florida community. I don't know anyone who has a single bad word to say about him. And this is a performance-based business. So both things can be true. You can be a great person and a great guy and try your hardest for the brand and not get it done. That's how it goes sometimes in life. I think on behalf of many Florida fans, we certainly wish he would have given up the offense and attempted to make a run at this without hanging on so tightly to that wheel. But there just seems to be a chip on Billy's shoulder that he needs to prove that he is good at being an offensive coordinator, and I think the data would indicate he's just not. And ultimately, I think that's what largely doomed him in Gainesville. Did a lot of things well, did a lot of things that had potential, did other things that weren't so great, but I think the biggest thread that constantly got pulled on is the offense just wasn't good enough. It was a major, major sticking point for this Florida Gators team, and no matter how much talent the team had, whether it was good, bad, or indifferent, it just wasn't ever a well-coordinated, well-conditioned unit. It did not perform well enough. It did not score enough points. It was not consistent enough, and I think that will ultimately be written on the Billy Napier era, an era that is unfortunately really the worst ever in Florida history, especially if you take out a coach who lost some players due to a world war. And so that's an unfortunate ending for Billy. We'll see what happens to Billy in the future. We'll see what happens to Florida in the future. It's going to be a very interesting film review season here, especially when it comes to offense. What does Florida change? What do they differently? Can they unlock the potential? Because I think we all agree this offense definitely has a lot of playmaking potential. Are they able to get maybe a UCLA effect out of this? Or even an Arkansas effect so far? Or does it just look like more of the same? I'll be with you every step of the way to document that. And certainly if you've been with me since the entire Billy Napier journey, I appreciate that. I appreciate you watching along with me, and I'll keep bringing you these film reviews no matter how good or bad they get. Until next time, after the Florida-Georgia game, as always, go Gators.